Good evening. A huge gang of violent African teenagers has run wild along the St Kilda foreshore, fighting each other and bashing and robbing beachgoers. Witnesses say there were at least 200 teens, including young women, causing trouble.
On St Kilda's busy foreshore, the group of young women square up to each other before fists and feet fly in every direction. It was a disgraceful level of violence which took place in front of dozens of beachgoers. It was a worrying indication of what was to come.
Unfortunately, last night we've had a large number of youth attend of African appearance who have engaged in antisocial behaviour. They've committed crimes, they've been involved in a number of assaults on the foreshore of St Kilda.
Witnesses estimate the number of African teenagers causing trouble along the foreshore was close to 200. Alex Carter's 16-year-old son was one of the victims. He and a mate were punched repeatedly and robbed.
They'd taken the other youngsters, his phone and his watch, and they even took his shirt. So left them sort of standing half nude in the street.
Alex's son was too frightened to speak about the ordeal, but has told his dad the offenders knew exactly what they were doing.
These guys are so clever the way they do it that it looks like a couple of teenagers just sort of having a bit of fun. So they're absolute professionals.
A number of witnesses dining in the area say police struggled to cope with the huge volume of angry teens.
The police officers handled it as best as they could. I think they were really outnumbered and they struggled to get a hold on it.
Later in the evening, there was a huge brawl at the McDonald's involving 60 teenagers of African appearance. Chairs were thrown and a window smashed. Police are still unsure as to how many victims they're dealing with and are asking anyone who was targeted by this violent group last night to come forward. They also want the offenders to make themselves known to detectives.
Their behaviour was just totally unacceptable, and I'd call on them to come forward, hand themselves in before we track them down.
Michael Scanlon, 7 News.